in place. We are currently developing AI and emerging technologies policies that will help to guide the ecosystem. We are also at the final stages of developing a policy on data, because AI policy identified three key pillars. One is the AI infrastructure, the second is data, the third is AI research and development, innovation and skills development. So data is critical. So we are looking at data governance framework, because that is where we need to address and make sure AI can take advantage of standardized data, and there is a structured process of how both public and private sector work, so that we can build this new value chain of data, so that the way we have value chain in other sectors, we have data value chain for our country and be part of the global digital economy. There are many other policies we are looking at. We concluded on establishing what we call government enterprise architecture, to ensure that our public sector and private sector read from the same page in terms of building government platforms and government systems. We've also developed government interoperability framework, and this will ensure that we are interoperable, so that the market is more attractive. We've also engaged partners and global players, and we are very proud as a country that with the partnership of ITU, we have established open source office here in Kenya, so that we can grow the open source development of systems in our country. And we are collaborating with global partners like the open source office from Germany, EU, and to see that that ecosystem continue to grow. We are attracting more innovation hubs, local and global, to be hosted in this country, development centers to be hosted in the country, including the Microsoft Africa Development Center, Amazon Web Development Center, and recently Apple Authorized Training Center, and also others with players from the global. We have something called Festavela House in Mombasa, which is an innovation hub. We have Timbuktu at Consultative with the UNDP. Here at the Kenya School of Government, we have Regional Center for AI and Digital Skills, which is also in partnership with UNDP. So we've laid quite a lot of infrastructure and platforms to enable our country to progress. In respect to the data center, some of the things now we are looking at is, what more do we need to do? What does industry require from us? And that's the opportunity we are opening to you today. We have had engagements with our colleagues and friends from McKinsey, represented here by my friend Kunlal, Ruth, and we've been working with Katik and also Sebastian. And industry leaders, many industry leaders have been working with us, and we've been looking at how do we grow the Kenya's digital or ICT sector from currently estimated about $7 billion to about $100 billion by 2035. We've seen how India has grown, how Malaysia has grown, and we think it is possible for our country, but it requires both public and private sector. And that's the reason we're having this conversation, is how do we support the private sector? And we want to hear the voice of the private sector, and we want them to understand what we are doing as government, and they can input more on that. We are working on the connectivity. We are investing quite substantial resources to ensure every part of the country has broadband connectivity, both using our national resources and government USF funding. We are also working with development partners, including World Bank and others, so that we can connect our neighbors. The Horn of Africa project with World Bank will enable us connect to Ethiopia, to Djibouti, to Somalia, and even to Sudan. We have also the East African Trade Facilitation Project connecting to South Sudan, and we want to go all the way to the other coast. And private sector is also doing the same. and some of you are playing a big role working with private sector, like the Umoja Cable from Mombasa through Nairobi, Uganda, all the way to South Africa and to Australia. And we want to see how we can have this infrastructure support data centers so that Kenya becomes the hub of data centers. We want to make it possible for hyperscalers to come and work with the existing private sector or come directly and do their business and make Kenya really a global hub when it comes to data centers. We are addressing some of the underlying requirements, the issues of power, the issues of connectivity in terms of broadband connectivity, capacity and reliability. We are looking at enhancing the port of Mombasa as a hub for submarine cables. We are in conversation with a number of partners so that we can have a maintenance ship station at Mombasa so that the turnaround of maintaining a damaged cable can be shortened. And this will make Kenya really a digital hub for the continent. And we are very impressed with the work you are doing as private sector. You are positioned us very well. We rank probably number 2 in the continent with almost 20 data centers currently operating in the country. But the potential is so huge. We'll be seeing in the report to be presented shortly that the projections in the next few years of what is possible. But it requires us to work together. We have engaged our partners in other state departments for investment, the trade section, the trade state department, to ensure that we address any of the requirements that you need. We know many data centers can actually be located in a country like Kenya, but they are serving global market. And we are looking how do we make it possible for you to access the special economic zone status. And this is some of the things that we already engage, and we want to see how can you take advantage of it. And we'll be bringing those players in those sectors to have this conversation. So this meeting for today is for you, the private sector, to actually engage us and share your proposals. And out of this, either directly or under the framework of your engagement under TESPOC, we can get a proposal on what we can do. And we also have a monthly engagement with a number of leaders in the sector. We've been having conversation on these areas, and we've addressed a number of issues which have come. You can also use that platform as private sector to bring your issues, and we are looking at having a conversation at the next level, so that we can have conversations with our minister, with our cabinet and the president to see how can we address those issues so that the sector can actually contribute more. Because we've seen countries where digital economy is contributing even 40% of their GDP. We think it is possible here in Kenya. And we think we can step it up to 15 to 20% in a short term if we all work together as one. So I will stop there, and hopefully before the presentation we can give to some private sector, 2 or so people, to make comments on the expectations. Then after the presentation we can have further engagement. So I can invite Ben maybe to do that session, pick 2 private sector to make some comments, and then you can go to your presentation. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, PS. Another applause for PS, please. Thank you very much. As emphasized by the PS, today is a Private Sector Prayers Day, and we are here for sure to listen to you so that we can forge the way forward together. So I would like to welcome the IX CEO to make his remarks. Then Liquid CEO also to come and make his remarks. Yes. Karibu sana.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning again. So, first of all, thank you very much to the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy, Wana PS, for putting this gathering together. Of course, our industry colleagues. I think where we are today, as PS mentioned, it wouldn't have been possible without your vision, your support. And also to say that, as well as running our own companies, we're also contributing to the growth of the industry through organizations like TESPOC, and also with the tech steer code that we're doing together with McKinsey, where myself with other colleagues we represent the data center industry. And it's about showing concrete milestones and walking the talk, and that's what we're doing as private sector. We continue to invest in this economy, and also the milestones that we've reached. For example, as Kenya, in the region, we're the first to bring a full cloud region here. For example, the work that we've done with Oracle, and that cloud region is going live very soon. So that's very exciting for us. When we look at AI, so I see Michael Michi is here from Atlantis. We're the first to bring the GPUs in the country. I know Adil, you're bringing yours soon as well. So again, that's a milestone for our local tech ecosystem to use the infrastructure here locally. And also we see that from a regulation point of view, based on the success of M-Pesa, where we've had very pragmatic regulation by central bank, and the success that we've seen, compared to other, say, bigger markets like Nigeria, where because of regulation they're stuck, they're still struggling. It's great to have our pragmatic cloud policy, and of course now with the data governance, our Data Protection Act, the AI governance that we're putting in place. I hope the idea for this meeting is that we bring our progress, but also some roadblocks to the table, so that with your support, PS, we hope that we can find the right solutions. There's one that our data center industry, as you may be aware, we're struggling, which we believe will stifle further investment, further innovation, where again, it's about making sure that we understand each other. I know people wear different hats here, from telcos, we do connectivity, etc. But when you look at data centers, and you've been to our places, all we do is warehousing. It's a big room like this. We provide space, we provide power, and we provide cooling. We don't deal with any spectrum or any fiber ourselves. Of course, we host the fiber providers who bring their own equipment. But unlike any other market in the world, and we've done some benchmarking analysis with McKinsey, where no other country is regulating, the telco regulator is regulating data centers, and this is what is brought in place here. Buena PS, we have been giving our feedback, but unfortunately none of that has been taken into account, and all of a sudden we see that the gazettement has been done that from 1st of July, unlike any other market in the world, data centers would be regulated. And we've consulted on this as an industry, of course, with TESPOC and some of the other business chambers, and we believe that might, from the progress that we've made, it will put us back. So our humble request is to see how we can get the support to ensure that we understand each other with the regulator and we find the right common ground. Because some of the arguments that have been made that data centers are similar to tower cos, that's not the case. Again, we've done the analysis with McKinsey, showing that even in other markets where tower cos are regulated, they pay a small license fee. In those same advancing markets, data centers are not regulated. And then also this argument that infrastructure like us control the access to data. We don't, and that's important because no bank, no fintech, no financial institution will want to have infrastructure providers like us with cyber security requirements, etc. Interfere in their access to data, and we also ensure that we get the right certifications, whether it is from a physical security. All of us data centers were PCI DSS compliant. For IT security, we have ISO 27001 certifications, which ensure that our data is totally segregated to the client's data. So it's about education, and that's why forums like this are important. So once again, this is something quite hot on our plate. So if you can help us unblock that PS, that's our humble request. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kindly let's appreciate our CEO again. Would like to welcome the Liquid CEO to make his remarks. Meanwhile, also the representative from the ICORO data center also prepares him.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bono PS, for giving us this opportunity as private sector to contribute in shaping the policy and the future of this country. Mombasa, you talked about Mombasa port is probably a gateway to 500 to 400 million people, where we can reach through the connectivity infrastructure, which with support of you and the colleagues in government, the whole Africa network kind of an initiative is helping. People like the landlocked countries really don't have access to it. So companies like us, Liquid, we are connecting almost all the landlocked countries which are our neighbors, including neighbor like Tanzania, who has their own port. But we serve it as a redundant route also. So maybe at Uganda, South Sudan, going into Rwanda, coming down to DRC, Umoja route, which you mentioned, we played our part in ensuring that there is connectivity. And that route actually helped us during the outage which we had on East Coast about a couple of years back, because the traffic we were routing through that route. Coming to the data center and AI, I think that's the future what we are looking at. We have invested heavily into AI infrastructure. In our South Africa data centers, we are running 2,000 GPUs of NVIDIA. The same we would like to replicate in a hub of East Africa where we can access those 400, 500 million people. So policies like this really help us, really guide. The cloud policy, when it goes live, it will allow a lot of government workloads and other workloads which are not moving to cloud due to lack of clarity will go there. What it will do is, first of all, it will improve the cyber posture of the country, because attacking on cloud is rare. Individual instances are more prone to cyber attacks. So these kind of initiatives are really future looking. In 10 years' time, the legacy, what we do now, is what the generation will enjoy. AI is the future. AI will play a role, but AI demands will be more regional. And policies which can encompass the regional aspect will really assist in fast tracking the adoption of AI. Our chairman, Mr. Strive Masivi, always says, Africa should not be consumer AI or consumer of AI. It should produce applications which are useful for us. We should lead the AI revolution because we have the youngest population when we look at it. These are the people who are doing extremely well in AI. Last week at GITEX AI Everything, I was fortunate to meet some young and very talented minds. And the use cases they were talking about on AI was just phenomenal. So the AI policy guidelines are there. Now the governance will come in, and I'm sure that will shape the future of this country for years to come. Asante sana.
Thank you very much for those remarks. Quite captivating and quite informative. PS, with your permission, allow me to give 2 minutes to ICORO representative, please.
Thanks, Bwana Director. All protocols observed. Mr. PS, asante for meeting you again. We met last year when you came to visit our Mombasa 2 data center, ICOLO. They normally say when you speak after the seniors have spoken, you really have nothing to say. So Snehal has represented our issues in the data center space. Niraj has also expanded on that, so I will not talk a lot. We have greetings, Mr. PS, from our GM, country GM, Wanja Muriithi. We are opening up our 4th data center in Kenya, in Nairobi. Is Nairobi 2, is a 6.5 megawatt. It's quite huge. So Mr. PS, as I leave this stage, just a small request, in the next 2 or 3 months, Nairobi 2, your biggest new kid on the block in Kenya, is going to be ready for opening. We will request you to honor us with a visit. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Fred. Doing quite a good job. 2 campuses in Mombasa, one here in Nairobi, another one almost being at the commissioning phase. I'd like to invite Trans CEO to come also make his remarks.
Thank you, Ben. My name is Daniel from Atlantis. We are the providers of Savannah Cloud Platform, which is Africa's sovereign cloud platform. So we run on top of data center infrastructure, and some of my colleagues here from the data center space, our hosts, and we host with IX, we host with ADC, with ICOLO, to make sure that we have that redundancy across board. So we are a cloud service provider, and we are very happy to get into the space of providing sovereign cloud services as Savannah Cloud to Africa entities, both in Kenya and in the region. Our prayer for this meeting is some of the things that we want addressed, of course, are in the course of being addressed, but I think also the government or the various regulators or the ministry in a bid to spur growth in our sector, there's a bit of encouragement that is required by the government to be able to encourage entities to host their data locally. Of course, there's regulation with data protection and all that, but I think also there has to be concerted efforts to inform organizations first of their duty as Kenyan entities or entities in Kenya that are managing or